Okay, hi everyone. It's Rose Ferrachi and Valerie Elster is with me tonight. Yes,
Hey,
I'm on a
everybody.
roll. Yay! We are here to talk about some good things now. Energies are high tonight, and well, for the next few weeks, it's going to be intense. And this is why I'm doing this. I'm gathering all these other beautiful light beings, these other light workers, so that we can help you understand what's going on. And we also have very important messages for you all. So I want to just share Valerie with you tonight, and I'm going to have her start by telling us, first of all, what she does. And hi, how are you, sweetheart?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good.
Holding down the frequency in Los Angeles. As far as what I do, how much time do we have? No, I'm kidding. So I am a master healer and a Akashic field therapy practitioner as well as trainer. And more on the Galactic side, I'm actually on the Galactic Council. I do a number of different channelings and working with the realm of Gaia as well as the cosmic realm. So a lot of what I do is just, like I said, hold the frequency here in this part of the world. And I also facilitate sessions and healings for people worldwide. Something that I was talking about with Rose is, as we move into more of this galactic space, there's many of us that are being drawn together. And I am also facilitating those types of reunions in a new group I'm calling Galactivations. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you so much, Rose, for setting this up and having me. We're ready. I think everyone feels this next level of it's time to really step out in a bigger way, and I'm getting the same message. So
Exactly. There's a lot of things going on, and there are different beautiful beings and light workers out here that I know and love myself. That's why I'm doing videos with a lot of them right now, and you are one of them. And I want to make sure everyone knows that they have a choice, whomever they resonate with, to contact for more information to help them get through whatever stage they're at in their awakening process, and learning how to deal with these high energies. The energies are very intense right now, and it's kind of exciting, actually. A lot of people are being thrown for a loop, though. If they're not familiar with it, then they're kind of wondering what the hell's going on. So that this is what we're here for. So what can you tell us about, I know what's going on, but I want people to hear it from you. What's going on now with this intense energy that we're all experiencing right now?
Just before we get that, should we do the key question and answer? Do you want to have people chat with us live?
I didn't open that, but I will keep an eye on the
okay.
I will keep on the other side of the forum, though, because I know people could chime in onto that if they want to, because I can see the comments. So if you do, I'm sorry I didn't open the live forum for this. But I can see through, the event itself, if someone wants to comment, if they're watching us live.
Perfect.
And ask us any questions right now, that's what we're here for. But if not, don't worry, you can ask questions later, and Valerie and I will be more than happy to answer your questions afterwards.
So as far as what's happening now, we talk about frequency, and of course that's kind of the ubiquitous word on where we're at dimensionally, and the dimensions simply are a frequency. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the different earths and the split earths, and what we talk about, the 3D earth, the 4D earth, and the 5D earth, which is really just a frequency shift. And based on where someone is at, that's essentially where you're going to resonate and also want to gather. And this is where we are coming together, as souls. But it is just an additional notch up as we move toward the winter solstice, which, you know, this has been 3 years now since the 2012 gateway opening, which was December 21st, 2012. So we are in this cycle of continually updating, and I do work with, as I mentioned, Gaia. I have been working with the codes of renewal, something that I have been facilitating and installing, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's very computer. It's very tech. But I have been doing a lot of work in the Gaia grids, which are the earth grids. And what I'm noticing is now taking or merging really some of the work I've done in the galactic realm at a deeper level into the earth. And so that is what's been going on this week, which is why many people are starting to unravel further who have already started, you know, their process, and new people popping up on the scenes. So that's what's happening in this past week. And, you know, again, as we move toward the solstice, there will be a lot more activity.
Yes, some of the symptoms that people might be feeling, they might be feeling extra irritable, confused,
Tired.
you know, your sleeping habits and your eating habits, you know, are just out the window, and you're wanting to sleep when you're supposed to be awake at work or what have you, you know, and then you're up all night, or you just don't feel hungry at all, and don't feel the need for food at all, and then you just can't get enough food, you know.
Yeah.
Just things like that are happening. Everything, you know, that we find in, you know, we've been conditioned to believe is supposed to be in a certain order. We sleep at night and awake during the day, and we eat 3 times a day or what have you, is just out the window, you know.
Yeah.
And so our bodies are adjusting to the energy frequencies that are happening. Our bodies, you know, this is kind of this is sort of, you know, a obsolete, you know, suit we have. So it's a little more difficult for it to catch up with us on the energetic spiritual level.
Sure.
So some people are going to feel a little overwhelmed with it. You're going to be extra tired or wide awake. You're going to be extra irritable. It's going to feel like full moon for a while. Like,
full moon nonstop. I'd say diet too, Rose. I know that I was guided to just not consume any animal flesh, including eggs. And that was about a week ago. And so I'm definitely moving away from that, which I know many people talk about and mention. And as well as caffeine, I'm on day 3. So, well, not caffeine, but, I know. I can't believe I'm awake. Coffee caffeine, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
The caffeine in coffee, I was guided to really move away from. And I'm replacing that with tea or matcha, just higher vibration, not necessarily the caffeine part, but everything that's being consumed is, you know, has a very high nutrient content. So because many people are eating less, the density of nutrients has to be much higher. So I'm seeing people talk about that.
Right. Yes. Even, every time since, you know, I mean, since 2012, I've seen a lot, inexperienced myself. Certain foods, you know, is harder for, you know, something we eat every day, we can't eat anymore. It suddenly makes us sick, or it just doesn't sit right in our stomachs. And we are starting to crave other things that we don't normally eat. And I became a vegetarian, you know, in the process myself, for the last couple of years. And because, you know, I couldn't consume and eat the meat, you know, and every once in a while I would eat meat and it would sit like rocks in my stomach. So it is a matter of, you know, feeding the light body, and feeding the light body is feeding high vibrational foods and giving your body what it's needing to help keep up with us as we are expanding in this ascension process. So
beautiful. Now, what's your definition of light body? Because I did put that in there to talk about, you know, what that is, and also the pain body. which I do work with people in the Akashic records with pain body, because that is the memory, right? The soul
Mhm.
memory of whatever trauma has happened. But so I want to talk about that. What do you think, and how would you best describe light body?
Um, for okay, the body has it's like its own consciousness. It holds a memory of everything we've ever endured, emotionally, mentally, physically, and we carry it over from past lives as well.
Yeah.
The body holds all of that. So in our minds, we might say, "I'm over that. I'm good. I forgive these people, and it's all good." But the body is like, "I didn't forget," you
Yeah,
know.
it's not good.
Yeah, so it holds its own Akashic record, you know,
Yeah.
and so it is cleansing that part to remove the memories so that we can move forth new and whole again.
Yeah.
And so taking good care of this part of our consciousness is vitally important, because mind, body, and spirit are all connected. They're all one. If one thing is affected, it affects all the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
And this, like, we're talking about basics that a lot of light workers, quote, people that are on this ascension path should know. But it's also reminding, because a lot of people do get pulled out of, their frequency. We were talking earlier before we went live about how important it is to stay in a high vibration environment, because you could be doing all the work in the world, you could be in this amazing place. And I think this last week of Thanksgiving, did you see that meme that was going around, or that video about when you're with your family and what happens? And I did hear from some clients that they were really happy. They kept their center, they maintained their frequency around family members, people that might not subscribe to what they're doing. So
mhm.
I think that's a really important thing I want to mention is food is part of it, but your environment, where you live, who's around you, where are you spending the most time? And I've kind of been a hermit. I mean, I'll admit, I have been a bit of a hermit this last year. It has definitely been a year to continue, obviously, the work on that high level, but also personally, I had to fully take another round, in my own process, and so that was a real eye opener.
Yes, I've been spending a lot. This is my office actually,
Woohoo! I like the
and
light.
and
Neato.
behind the computer is another room, and that's my healing room. This is all the healing room, but this is where I do my counseling, my readings,
Uh-huh.
and things like that. And on the other side, behind the computer, is another room where I have my energy table and where I do my energy work. But I've
Great.
been spending like every day here at my office because it is my safe haven. This is my sanctuary, my place of sanctum and escape. So I've been kind of a hermit too, and a lot, and it's in the back of a cafe. My very good friend,
Have fun.
who is very supportive in this, so she allowed me to set up shop back here. And so just down the hallway in this doorway is a long hallway where she's got her boutique and her cafe and everything. So customers come in and the first thing they see is way down at the end of the hall is me. And
Awesome.
they're drawn back here because they love how it feels, and they walk in there, oh, it feels so good back here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're in my space. I don't really do that, but I mean, I'm like, good, enjoy it, allow it to do what it's needing to do for you right at the second. But this is my sacred space, and I've been spending a lot of my time here too,
Yeah.
to just stay in flow, and this is where I stay and do my, I'll sit and have my quiet time, my meditation going within and things like that. So I understand what you mean, but it helps
Yeah.
me maintain it when I leave this room and go out there back to the world and back, home with a family and everything. So but it does get better. It gets easier. You can walk amongst everyone else out there, and you
The
can
normal
still
people.
maintain, you know, it. Go ahead.
Oh, no, finish that. I was just going to talk about the different dimensions, because that is the key.
Yeah.
Is, you know,
Yeah, this is where we become interdimensional or multidimensional,
yep,
and where you are able to stay in one frequency, and you can see all the different frequencies all around you that are happening, but you can still maintain where you're at. And
exactly.
it does get easier. It actually kind of is cool because you see, it is magical. You know, you can really see more. You have a deeper insight, and you see a lot more that way. And the instant complete understanding
Yeah.
and insight of all that is happening and all who we are as, you know, spiritual beings, as these beautiful galactic soul beings that we are. It is an amazing experience. So it's not something that's going to throw you for a loop and you're going to feel like, you know, no, it's a lot of fun actually to to
I've
see
had
what's going on.
Yeah, it's been interesting. And one of the things that I notice, even for myself, and this is an important other piece for, you know, anyone really on this path or in this space, because you can interact with, you know, the lower dimensions, for lack of a better word. But if you get entangled, and this is the kind of what I see, because entanglements in the Akashic is very common, if you get involved in even what's happening right now on you know, in the earth, the things that are happening just here locally, the shootings and all of these things, if you start to get it pulled in and attached and your emotions go there, this is very easy to get pulled back in to this kind of 3D loop, which is the collective. And I do work in the collective. I see what the patterns are and where everybody is vibrating. And so, you know, these, as people call them, situations or false flags, a lot of things happening where we see, okay, that's something coming up in the grid, so to speak. And it can pull you out. And that's where I see people, they go back into this realm, and then it sometimes is more difficult to come back into this higher frequency. So it's like keeping your space clear, and your mind. Space means everything. Your inner space, your outer space, whatever's going on has to be really congruent to be able to, you know, more easily handle these higher frequencies. And as we know, it's just going to keep ratcheting up.
Yeah,
So,
it is amping up all the time as we
yep.
speak, and it's a matter of staying present in this very moment, you know, and being present minded, and not allowing, you know, we're constantly 24/7 at some level in a resistance. It's a matter of not letting that resistance take over and own us, you know, like we always do. We
No, I'm
get
not.
caught up. Yeah, get
I'm
caught
not
up in the you know, you get caught up in the news, you know, and then fears, you know,
Yeah, I don't
strike
watch
in.
TV. I don't
It's
do you. I
easy to
don't watch
go to the
anything.
grocery store and get, you know, aisle 7 road rage or something, you know, and it's so it's easy to, you know, the old habits that we have grown up with, that we were raised in, there's just the automatic reaction rather than responding.
Yeah.
And so when we're mindful of ourselves and mindful of right now where we're at and everything around us, being constantly aware, knowing that everything is alive, everything. Tobias and I, when we did our video, I did tell him to talk more about the video he had done previously the week before, where he said everything is an activation and everything is, you know, he was like, you know, in his yard, and he's like, look at the apples in the trees are an activation. They're there for you, you know, to be in the present moment. It's alive and it's speaking to you. It's connecting with you. Everything around us is alive, and we go into sleepwalk mode so easily, and we take it for granted that everything around us. We don't listen to the birds when we're outside the house, you know, and we just take for granted that they're out there singing. And the only time we notice that they're, you know, notice the birds is when there's a storm coming, and just before it hits, then all the birds get quiet. There's not one chirp, especially here in the Midwest where I'm at now. When there's a tornado or a hailstorm coming, the birds get quiet, not one sound in the trees. And that's the only time a lot of us will recognize, oh, wait, there's no birds. You know, we took them for granted before. We were so used to hearing them, but then the silence was different. It kind of jolted us, you know, and so noticing and not taking for granted everything around you is part of you. And you are a part of it. I am you and you are me. We are the earth, we are the trees, we are the birds, we are the magic in this, and we are all of the same consciousness. So just meld with it and stay in the moment. And it actually helps make things a lot easier to work through, endure, whatever you want to call it, for lack of better words, because human language is so limiting.
Oh God, that sounds painful. Which is what's coming up to me, and something I wanted to talk about was the pain body, which you know, I don't know if you've been processing some of this, but I've been doing not only my own you know, the micro piece, but macro. I'm noticing that I am really shifting and clearing some collective pain body. And people that are very sensitive might be also feeling not only their own clearing, but also what's happening on the collective level. Especially if you're connected to the earth, you know, like I am and like you are, we are also collectively shifting and releasing a lot of this, which is why it's so important for our, you know, individual to heal, to clear, whatever you want to call it, to really update, as you said earlier, about, you know, the cells. And it's the work I do in the Akashic, you do similar work, and also in a healing session where I'm really just working in frequencies and aligning that person to whatever is coming in. And I do pick up what frequency they're at, and I will ratchet it up if I feel like it's time for them to step into, you know, their I am presence. And so that's actually been something coming through very clearly. But again, so important for everyone to, whatever's happened in the past, whatever unresolved emotional blockages, drama, trauma, those are the things that will keep you stuck. And also make it much easier for you to get triggered and go, you know, fall back into a pattern rather than moving, as you mentioned, in this mastery, which really, this is just self-mastery. You know, we're all here mastering this realm, but also the multidimensional existence. So, you know, and then some days, but it's hard. Some days it's very challenging to be in that multidimensional point. I have my son to ground me and others, you know, and so a way I'm grateful for some of these 3D experiences, because otherwise I probably wouldn't, you know, I'd be up in the in the higher realms most of the time.
Right, and it is, there are a lot of things that we've been given as gifts all around us that help us recenter and and you know, realign a bit when we throw ourselves out of whack. And that is the beautiful part, is that everything works together. Like I was discussing earlier this week with a couple of my other friends, that, you know, us and Gaia, you know, Earth and other people, we are all of the same consciousness, the same embodiment, the same body, you know, just like the physical body. You know, the hands are different from the feet and they do different things and different functions, but yet it is a part of the same body and it works together. And that is the beauty of it, when we can go outside and sit in the sun for a good, you know, 10, 20 minutes, if nothing else, and allow the sun to you know, download and re-energize us and nourish us the way it is supposed to, and the way it always does when we realize it or not. And so many people, you know, if you just take that moment and go outside and stay out there for a few minutes, and then you go back inside, and you do feel better. You feel the difference.
Yeah.
And so we've been given, you know, this embodiment, this whole collective consciousness of so many things around us that is there for us in these times when we in these little moments. And if it's not another person, then just step outside and allow the sun and nature to do its job and to help us out. And that is the beauty of it. That's how connected everything is. That's how connected we are to everything.
I love it.
And so when I was living out on the islands, I remember getting one day there were some earthquakes in California.
Yeah.
And I felt it, only I didn't know that was what was happening because we didn't watch the news or anything. And I, you know, was to the point, I knew something was going on. I didn't know what it was, but I was in such physical pain in my stomach area that I almost asked, you know, the gal that I was with out there to take me to the emergency room. It was that bad. And I just said, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to lie down. And I did. And I had my selenite wand. It's a nice, you know, one about this big, and it's about thick. And I put it on my stomach and I went and lied down for a while. And then later on, we got online and everyone, it was plastered all over Facebook that there were a couple earthquakes in California. And I was feeling sick right at the time that it hit. And so when you're connecting, you feel what's going on because you're the same consciousness.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So, you know, and that's what many people are feeling. And so it's, you know, it's that discernment. Is it me, or is it the collective? Is it the earth? And there have been, this past week, I mean, I have been working a lot with the Earth's grids, and I know there's been a lot, you know, others, of course, are working. We're all doing our part in some way, shape, or form. But I did notice there's a lot of people that are having, you know, really interesting experiences. And something I was going to talk about earlier, which is now escaping me, of course. Oh, darn it. Oh, well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm getting like, you know, different frequencies are coming in and out. So I'm like, I don't know if it's a message or what's happening, but I wanted to just, you know, again, more for the light worker group as far as A, how to maintain that frequency, and then B, to really be clear on, you know, the boundaries. Boundary issues have come up for a lot of people, whereas because we're in this higher space, because you're vibrating in a higher frequency, you know, you also are a magnet in a way for people that are looking for and wanting that feeling, right? Just like you said, when people come in the coffee shop. Are we okay on sound? Oh, okay. I can't hear you now.
I am responding to someone who's trying to get into watch, and so I muted myself. So.
Oh, okay. I was like, your lips are moving, but I'm not hearing, Rose.
Yeah. So continue while I answer him, because I didn't want my typing to, you know, interrupt your.
Oh, okay. So just talking about boundaries, especially if you facilitate for other people, as we both do, it's really important to make sure, you know, you're just keeping that field essentially around you, and also the clarity of what's yours, what's theirs. One of the things that I notice when I'm working in the Akashic, I tend to be working with people with similar either issues I've just moved through fully, or something that I'm going through right now. And so we do pull into our awareness, you know, mirrors, people that are going through the same thing. And, you know, again, it's that clarity of where you're at, what your, you know, boundary space is. And of course, people with similar frequencies, you really don't have to think about that. It's, for me, it's just effortless. We're all on the same page. Everybody's resonating. But especially if you work with other people, or if you live with other people, you know, family or friends. So I keep hearing this comes up more, as well as, you know, different frequencies, some of the shadow stuff. I am seeing a rise in that as well, which makes sense, because as we increase the frequency vibration of Earth, you are going to have the opposite. You're going to have the opposite energy. And this is, again, where people choose to put their attention. Are you putting your attention on the frequency, or are you putting it on all the drama and all the things happening in the earth? So people are saying, well, why is there so much going on right now? It's because we are moving, forward. It is like this rubber band effect. And this is your choice. Where are you going to put your attention? Which leads me back to the 3D earth, the 4D earth, and the 5D earth. Which earth are you going to choose to be on, or be, you know, what vibration? And this is really up to you, the individual, and you, the light worker, or whoever's watching, to be very clear on what is left that I need to unravel right now. Because it's more, as you know, Rose, about, it's not about learning all new stuff. Ascension isn't like, you know, I'm going somewhere. It is a unraveling of the layers of this human, you know, consciousness. That is really what the most important piece. Because once you start unraveling, your true nature comes out, your divine self. You are love incarnate, period. But so many of us in the human suit have been taught, and just from society and from our parents and other things, which I call downloads or implants. But implants, I talk about that not in, you know, implant ET stuff, but I talk about, you know, programs. How many programs are you operating that aren't your own? This is where the clarity is. This is obviously where, once you start to separate from this more 3D space and step into your authentic self, then you start to understand what are your programs and where'd they come from, then how to actually unravel them, and then how to integrate them in your day-to-day experience. So it really is this cycle of awareness, of identification, unraveling. Then there's, you know, some process of settling. Then it's like showtime. What's going to happen this time? You know, are you going to react the same way? Or are you going to choose, because you see what's happening, to really operate differently? And this is mastery. Because mastery is you recognize it and you're able to move through it on your own or with someone else. You have the tools to move through it. So there, that was a mouthful, but
it was
flowing
awesome.
Right, that's what's flowing through me. So
yes, well, no, that's exactly what it is. It's the, you know,
yeah.
peeling of the, you know, it's like an onion. We're peeling
Yeah.
the layers
Peeling
of
the layers.
our old selves, the conditioned selves. You know, the part of us has been programmed, and like you just said, and it is it's when the frequencies and the energies go nuts like they are right now, we go a little nuts. We go crazy. We, you know, it's like I said, it's the full moon effect. We get more, you know, more dramas in our lives, and we feel a bit chaotic within, and we react instead of responding. So then we're like, you know, why is all this happening in my personal life? Why am I fighting with everyone? Or, you know, why do things feel like they're falling apart? Or why do I just don't feel right? Or it is because it's making us go within. We are expanding and we are shifting as well with Gaia. And as these energies rise, so do we. And with that, it's trying to peel the layers back, and it's trying to get us to do the inner work, to let go and release and clear some things that no longer serve our highest good, so that we can remember who we really are. and it's getting back to the core of who we really are. And we're not,
Galactic being.
yeah. And we're not what we've been programmed to believe. We are not born to just grow up and pay bills and enslave ourselves to society. Yes, get a job and everything. I'm not saying that we all have to go.
No, ditch it.
Yeah, I'm not telling everybody that we're all going to have to go hiding in the mountains or anything, go off grid and stuff. But it is just about, you still being able to discover who you are, but being mindful of the old programming and what it was, and knowing that your inner truth is far different from it. And who we really are is the exciting part, because who we really are is what's emerging with these new energies that are rising right now, where we're going, where we're heading right now. So,
and yeah, for sure. I was going to add in there, like, this journey is not for the faint of heart. I mean, just coming to Earth, is one thing, but actually being on this path, as many of us are, we're really, pushing, I don't know if pushing the envelope is the right word, but I kind of see us all just kind of, moving forward, moving iron ore. But, it's not that kind of struggle. And, I mentioned Galactic, and we are all made of stars. It's that one saying, is we all have that origin. We all have some piece of, we're all connected to the earth, to the stars, to the other planets, to these other civilizations. We're all one. And it's just because we've been separated, because we haven't had truth from the beginning, because as a species, we're not in oneness. We've been operating really differently. And a lot of this is about, pulling us together as a species so we can move forward and ascend along with our beloved Earth. And that is really what this ascension is about. And all of these, patterns and programs and labels and anything that will separate us as a species is what needs to be resolved and let go. And this is really happening, and it happens so simply. It's this state of grace, just releasing, whatever doesn't serve you, just easily with grace. It's not this rough and tumble thing. We make it that way, I mean, the human process makes it more difficult. And suffering is one of our collective agreements. I call it victim consciousness. So you might see this, Rose. I see it as well. And it's really easy to recognize, but it is where you're fully, keying into the collective. Oh, life's hard. Oh, yeah, it is. So that is like the piece of, where's your attention? You're going to be in whatever, life or whatever earth that you choose. So it's that one meme on Facebook, Rose, on the bus. One side's all gray and depressing. The other side's bright and sunny. It's like, what side of the bus are you on? Because you choose every day what side of the bus you're going to be on. And, I like the sunny bus. So regardless of what's going on or what I'm perceiving, I am still on the sunny bus.
Exactly. Yes. I like the sunny side too.
Can we talk about Galactic family after you're done? Just a star family,
yes.
Galactic.
I just wanted to make the point. Yeah, we'll definitely go there. I just wanted to make the point that everyone is on their own path, and we're not saying that you all have to be right here in this place. Now, you're going according to the chosen path that you chose for yourself. And no one is being judged. You're not like down here, we're up here, it's nothing like that at all. So we honor your path and the realities that that you choose for yourself, as we would hope that you honor ours. And I do get some people that are like, I'm not getting it. I'm trying. You don't try so hard, you know.
Yeah.
Don't get too comfortable with, you know, just sitting there and being patient with yourself. I mean, yes, be patient with yourself and give yourself some time to figure things out for yourself as you are learning your truth and going within and doing your inner work. But make sure that we are all, you know, we all have to at some point make sure that we are all keeping on our toes and we're still moving forward and not getting too comfortable. It's easy to get into one space and get comfortable there and not move anymore from there. But again, you know, we are all shifting and we are all moving and expanding, no matter who you are. Doesn't matter if anyone is totally, you know, not aware of what's going on and don't care. It doesn't matter. We are all still shifting and moving. Everyone, every human being on this planet is doing that, including every being out there in the universe, because what happens here is affecting the universe. This has not been done ever before universally. So this is exciting stuff. Everything, every being, every planet, everything is being affected by what we are going through in this moment. And we are part of this exciting thing. It's an exciting journey. So
it really is.
It is. It really is exciting. And we all chose to be here. We all chose to come here. So
yeah, exactly.
So, but I just wanted to, you know, get that and make it clear that, you know, we're not judging anyone who's, you know, there's no levels. Okay.
I know. I use the words, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to describe.
Yeah, it is hard to describe, and it's hard to put in words without making people feel like, oh, you know, I'm stupid. I'm on the short bus, not the clear side, or I'm on the short bus.
Your frequency. And that's the thing. This is the science. It's frequency. It's a number. It's not higher. It's a frequency. That's it. Yeah. It's simple. And so again, where are you aligning your frequency? It's harder to maintain a higher frequency if you have, you know, anger and guilt and sadness and other, you know, not sadness, but anger, guilt, what's some others, you know?
Resentment,
fear.
You know.
Well, fear. Those are the main pieces.
Yeah, they're all fear-based.
Yeah, so if you're resonating there, you're going to feel it because, and then you're trying to move forward. It's like you're carrying a boulder up, a ton boulder up a hill, because you're holding on to all this stuff. And this is the pain body. We talk about the light body. You're holding that space. And so many people, fear is the main piece that I have seen, fear of the unknown, that stops people from even trying. So this is also obviously a very ingrained construct for the humans. And this is where, as we all pull each other up, you know, my role as a facilitator, I'm here to facilitate. You can do it on your own. You don't really need me, but a lot of people need the reflection of me, the reflection of you, Rose. They need our reflection, and we're all just reflections of each other.
Exactly.
So that's it, you know, just a hall of mirrors. But hall of crazy, right? It's the crazy mirror. I don't know.
It is beautiful, though. It is beautiful. And
I love it.
So if we're a reflection, we're hoping we're reflecting the beautiful part of you as you do us, you know, and when you were talking about mirroring, that the mirroring is absolutely true. I've been getting, you know, I've been telling a lot of people lately in my sessions, you know, that you are that vibrational match. You're aligning yourself to your life experience. And so everything in the world and all your issues, or not issues, all your experiences and the people in it are your mirror. And so we are mirroring each other. And, you know, like I said, I am you, you are me. We are the same consciousness. So we're doing this together regardless, and you're not alone, and you're not going to be left behind. So you can do this. You got this, everybody. and it's actually fun. Actually,
back to the choice. Where's your attention? So that's why it's so important. Keep it focused. So Galactic, What's your star family, soul family? You know, I use those words a lot. Soul family for me is soul. We have a connection from some past, you know, it's all happening now. So I don't even like to use past. From some remembrance in another lifetime on earth. So soul family are those, you know, you just know that person. Obviously, a lot of people are coming together from soul family and doing amazing earth work and, you know, the tribe, what have you. And then now it's the star family rather, which is the galactic family. So you kind of have, you know, sometimes there's the same people are galactic and soul. I have a lot of soul family. I have a lot of galactic family. And so you just feel it. And this is where also your sensitivity is really being clear and going with your intuition. There's, you know, just go with it. Whatever you feel, trust what the feelings you're having. So this is where we're coming together, we're grouping together. A lot of us, you know, we're moving all over the country. I mean, this has been happening for a while, since 2012, really. And there's certain pieces or times in you know this realm that it then amplifies that connection, and you'll see, oh, everybody just kind of shows up out of nowhere all of a sudden. And these are cycles. I see everything in cycles, and we're in a 7-year cycle. 2012, December 2012 launched or opened up the 7-year cycle to Earth's ascension. And that's what we're in. And this is now 3 years into a 7-year cycle. It's not exact 7 years, but roughly. And so that's we're, you know, almost halfway through. So like Rose said, you're not going to get left out. There's nobody left behind. It's just where you're choosing to put your attention. But just on the galactic side, I am very active in that way. I am on the Galactic Council. I do attend meetings, and I also vote on things that affect not only Earth, but also the rest of the, you know, the rest of the cosmos or the Milky Way galaxy. So this is about understanding and remembering who you are, because we all have galactic origins, and it's about feeling and knowing and trusting what you're getting, the information you're receiving. And more people are waking up, they're getting downloads. You know, I have people saying, I feel like I'm driving a ship at night, you know, and I'm like, well, you probably are. So as we move closer frequency-wise, we're now able to interact more with, you know, groups from other planets. We're not the only one. I hope everybody knows that, right?
They do now.
They do now. We're not the only planet. I mean, of course, we're not the only planet, but we're not the only species. I like to call them species. We're not the only species. Yeah. So there's family, and, you know, people feel it. And I have moments that I'm just, the pull is so strong to be with, you know, my family, my soul family or star family. So, and of course, all the sightings are happening. There is going to be increased transparency, which is happening, as well as disclosure. I mean, the whole world seems to want to, you know, disclose that we've been interacting with other realms for years, and it's time. And, you know, one of the things, I was on a radio show, Rose, I mean, I told you a few weeks ago, when all the activity on the West Coast was happening. And, you know, one of the things I really wanted to leave people with is, you know, they're here to help us. The Galactic is a group that really works, you know, on behalf of many different planets and families and stars. And so it's really about, we're all coming together because we really are part of it, part of this whole macro. And the goal is that, you know, we need help. We need help on Earth. We need help with the environment. There's all sorts of things. And obviously we have there's only so far we can go in the human realm. So I think that's something I wanted to say about that.
Ditto what you said.
Yay!
So no, that's very true. There's a lot more than what we realize, going on, and this is what is exciting, and we are all part of it. And it's a matter of, of us doing the work that we're doing here now. We all came here to be a part of this expansion, a part of this, movement, so to speak, for lack of better words again. We are all ascended masters. We are all greater beings than what we give ourselves credit for, what we realize. And I don't think people really think of themselves as anything more than just a human being. And you are so much more than that. And you were here for, this, you're here for this whole thing. You're part of the bigger picture. And that's what's amazing, is that we're all here in this together. And so we are just here, Valerie and I and others are here to assist and to assist everyone and each other.
Yeah.
To walk this journey together, and to do what we came here to do, to help us through, help each other through it, and to awaken and activate each other. And this is what it's about. And there's no more separation. The separation is something that people are going to have to eventually choose to eliminate, to allow it to disintegrate, because there is no more separation. Everything is connected. So everything that's happening is going to affect us one way or another.
Yeah.
And but it's a beautiful thing. There's nothing to fear. This is stepping into the unknown, and in the unknown there's the magic. This is the rabbit hole. This is where we're Alice in Wonderland, and this is the fun part. We can go on this adventure together and just explore and remember who we are and remember what we came here for. And these things are not, it'll be new to us in this, as we were remembering, because it'll be out of, the ordinary for us, as far as what we have, experienced on Earth as a human being, but we've always known this. So, yeah. I always tell everyone, I don't teach anybody anything new.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just remind you of what we have all long forgotten. And I speak from my own experiences, because as I remember, then I help everyone else remember. So
Exactly. And, yeah, and I totally agree. And just to continue the process, I mean, people even ask me, how did you get to this point? And I think, the simplest answer is I just kept asking, what's next? What's next for me? What's next for me as part of this? I felt there was this bigger purpose, and I just kept asking, what's next? And, and that's it. And then remembering who I am, why I'm here, what my role is, and there's many of us that have similar roles. There's many of us that can do the same thing, but sometimes the timing's not there, or you're not ready for it. So, and this is the whole weaving of the web. The Galactic is a cooperative. Everybody works together. We have to remember this on Earth. This is really part of it. Is the Galactic does not operate on its own. It's a total collaboration. And, we're getting to mirror that and see what that's like here. And that's really what we're moving towards, a collaborative, amazing place. I'm enjoying this beauty on Earth. I mean, it's heaven on earth. That's it, right?
Exactly.
Simple.
That's exactly what it is, and it is beautiful. When I was on the island, and I shared this with everyone a year ago,
Yeah.
a little more a year ago, I called it my Alice in Wonderland video on my YouTube, and I even shared it on my blog and everywhere. But the experience that I had when I was on the island was the most life-changing experience. And I told a friend of mine a couple days ago when we were talking about this, I almost feel like a walk-in. I'm a completely different person than I was when I left the mainland.
Yeah.
And I've not been the same. I don't see the world the same. I don't see myself the same. I don't see anything the same.
Yeah.
I see everything completely different and in a whole new perspective, because the experiences that I had were galactic. I was wide awake when it started, and the next thing I know, I mean, it was very intense,
Yeah.
and I woke up the next morning. But I was wide awake when it started the night before, and there were ships, and there were galactic beings, and there was an
Yep.
Akashic clearing for me there, and a lot of inner work and clearings, and a lot of having, discussions with what I would call my high council. And
Uh-huh.
there was star beings everywhere talking to me in different languages that were not of Earth, and I understood them all. But there was a lot of it was mainly like, more of the telepathic type speaking,
Yeah.
communication. But
Yeah.
it was the most intense experience of my life, and I was shown a lot of things that I could not put in human language. There's no way to
Yeah.
describe what I had seen with my own eyes, and what I was shown, what I had experienced, the memories that were brought back to me of who I
Yeah.
really am beyond this human suit, and where I came from and everything. It was so, so intense, but a beautiful, and oh man, I wanted to stay there. And, but I remember now who I am and what I am and why I am here. And there's no going back. I don't want to go back to sleep and go back into amnesia at
Yeah.
all. And,
That's the other thing.
and I think that, I'm not the only one who's had similar, there's other people who've had similar experiences, lots of them. And so, but if a lot of people could have even just seen a glimpse, just a fraction, a little tinsy piece of what I had seen with my own eyes and what I was shown and everything, it would blow their mind. And I don't think they would ever be the same from just that little bit. And I don't tell a whole lot of here, I did a video on it, and here I'm talking about it with you, but I don't talk about it to people one-on-one about this at all, because it would just go, I don't think a lot of people would understand at all. I did try to explain to my family, and
Boy.
my mom was just like, okay,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
just smiled and nodded at me. But my dad, excuse me, my dad, totally there. My dad was like, yes,
Oh,
and
cool.
but there's just that's okay though. I mean, it's not about making people believe me or understand. It is about taking what happened and taking the memories that were given back, the ancient wisdom that's within me, and putting it forth and doing what I came here to do. Now everything seems so mundane here on Earth, all the drama, silly drama. And I'm
that's
like,
the downside. That's a challenge, actually.
Yeah.
Some of the mundane. That's actually a challenge, because once you peer, outside that matrix, and once you go to that level, like you said, there's no going back. You can't really, although many people would like to, you just can't. It won't maintain, So
yeah.
and that's why, of course, we're coming together, because it's, you know, why not? You want to be around people that get you, that you don't have to explain yourself. And that's beautiful. I mean, that's just like,
Yeah, but it
deep
is, you
breath.
know, yeah, it is, but I'm here for all humanity. I'm here for all star beings that are out there, all the other planets
Yep.
as well. I'm not just here for Earth. I'm here to
Yeah.
do something on the big scale. And I now know love in a completely different form, because the purest
Yeah.
of love is not like the earthly love we know at all.
Yeah.
And it is something completely different. It is of the purest form, and there are no earthly words to describe it, but it is the most beautiful existence that we come from. And now I just want to share that with people. I want people to, you know, feel it as, you know,
Yes.
and emanate it as much as possible from this human existence as possible while I'm here on this planet. And
Ditto.
I just have, I love everybody, and I see everything that happens here on Earth differently. So when the frequencies and the energies shift and they amp up again and stuff, well, of course, now this is what comes with the package. The Earth is shifting too. Gaia is shifting with it. Everything is. We all are at one time. So what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing things like Paris happen. You're going to start seeing things that, you know, like what just happened in California. You know, we're going to see chaos happen on the Earth, because this is, you know, what happens is that it makes us go crazy a little bit, you know, and so we can see
Well,
for the truth and what it is. And
yeah.
I mean, it's a reaction to the shifting energies, and sometimes it's natural disasters. And you know, a tsunami might happen, or, you know, huge, you know, flood, or, you know, tornadoes, like 10, 20 tornadoes at one time in the Midwest will happen in the summertime, or what have you. You know, when you know that the frequencies are amping up once again, and we're all shifting yet again, things like this are going to happen. It comes with the package.
Yep.
It comes with the territory. So
Yep.
you've got to put the 2 and 2 together. So when you are seeing the news and you're seeing nothing but chaos all of a sudden out of the blue, when we've had a week of quietness, well, guess what happened just now on the etheric level, you know? And
I know. That's what happens, which makes total sense. So, you know, I think the key is just going within what feels right to you. Follow your feel. It's simple. I mean, you know, this isn't complicated. Most of these teachings, most of what mastery is about, most of this is simplicity. It is the absence of all of this, you know, emotional, human emotional stuff. And, you know, it is about connecting to the greater cosmos, to the collective. And it's greater good, you know, when, like just what you're saying, when I'm doing things, you know, it is for the greater good, which I'm a part of. So many of us are operating for humanity, for Gaia, for, like you said, outside. And, you know, we're kind of stewards of the earth, so to speak. And being a steward of the earth means that you have a cosmic connection, because we are interconnected. We are part of this greater, you know, universe, and especially our own star system or solar system. So, you know, I was kind of seeing like a little baby, you know, we're like little baby Earth. We're growing up. You know, we're ready to join the family table.
yeah.
We're ready
Yep.
to sit at the big table. We've been at the kid table for a long time.
Yes, we have. It was fun there, but it's now time
It was
to.
fun. We threw plates and forks and fought each other, right? And
Right.
argued about who got the last biscuit. But
Exactly.
now we're growing up, and it's this maturity and mature souls which is really, what many of us are. We're stepping into that maturity as spiritual masters.
That's what we all are, every single one of us, every single one of us. And
that just like came through. I'm
yes.
kind of somewhere else right now.
Good. Yay!
Yes. I know. I mean, I'm always somewhere, but definitely like, woo, woohoo.
Definitely. The message is full of love, and we are here because we love you. And
we love you.
We are, not that this makes us any special, but it's sort of like we're on the front lines, it's sort of like we're on the front lines, so what we experience, and we want to take that and do what we need to share and to assist and to work together in assisting everyone else out there who might need some extra assistance and helping to understand what's going on, because life, back in the 70s, 80s, life made sense. You got a job, went to college or what have you, and started your families and everything, and now nothing makes sense. None of it does.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are feeling very discontent with all of that, and well, this is why. And because times have changed. Definitely.
Yeah.
The world has ended as we know it. As we know it. As we know it. The world that we knew. Yep. And the world that we knew is gone now, because it is no longer. We are entering into something completely new and fresh and beautiful and exciting.
Yeah.
And this is what it's about. This is a wild ride. This is a roller coaster. The emotions that we are feeling, even if it's anger, if it's hurt, it's pain, or what have you, really connect with it, because that is what gets us to release, and it also catapults us to the next level. And you know what? When you're giving birth, it's going to be painful and it's going to be intense. And once that's all done, when you're healing, when you have surgery and having things removed that are not serving our physical body, it hurts. But it moves us to the next level, to become whole again. And so this is what we're doing on the spiritual and energetic level. We are going through surgeries, or we're giving birth, and we're in labor, or what have you. Everyone's in a different place, but yes, you're going to feel all these crazy emotions, but that is good, because that means you're clearing and you're preparing to move on and move forward. That's exciting. So don't suppress those emotions. Allow them to do what it's doing. It's cleansing you, and it's awakening you, and it is also it's activating you, and that's exciting. That's a beautiful thing. So this ride is it's not as tough as we make it, and it is wondrous, and it's magical, because in the midst of all of it, we see the most inexplicable, miraculous things happening in our lives.
Yeah, it's the birth. I mean, it's really the birth of the new earth. For not to be cliche, but it really is. It's just like us. It's the peeling back the layers. But it's really us, it's the inhabitants of Earth. And you see, there's so many things happening with some species. I was told years ago, some species would be dying out. And this is all part of this evolution, of this ascension. So in islands, some would come, some would go. This is that alchemical mix of, the earth herself, Gaia herself, stretching and expanding and releasing what no longer serves her, as we also release in our bodies. Like you said, we're connected. So it is very much this beautiful harmonic relationship. And, it's just continue to do your own work. That is the one thing. That's what I continue to do. Just because we're in this position doesn't mean that we're done. I mean, there's still There's things that come up that we have to deal with. We've had to, you know, step into our work. And as you say, yes, I'm ready for the next level, then guess what? You get all the stuff that you haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
And you know, when shifts happen in the planet, like I feel them, you know, to the nth degree where I can't even function, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm involved, or I've actually been in that process of doing that update, of actually invoking that. So, you know, I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, what a ride. This has been such an amazing experience. But I'm so excited to see where we go, and just more and more beauty and more love, you know, like you said. It's hard to describe, but it's just pure. It's pure crystalline frequency. That's it.
That
Harmonic.
is. That
It's
is.
the harmonic of love.
It
Simple.
is. Yeah.
Simple.
And so if we can make the journey more beautiful for you, you know, then so be it. Let us. And you know, like Valerie said, you know, we are still going through ourselves. You know, when we move up to the next level, then you know, more of the onion peel, you know, more of the layers come off of us as well. And
Yeah.
so we are still having, you know, we wouldn't be able to be here doing what we do and talking about what we're talking about and offering our assistance if we hadn't been through it ourselves. We speak from experience. So, and we're going to have more experiences to speak from. And so we haven't arrived, you know, and so, you know, the day that I come out and say that I've arrived, smack me, okay? Because it's just not so. As long as we are on this planet in this human body,
yeah, we have to deal with something.
Yeah, there's gonna be some challenges going on, but yeah, that is. I hope that we were able to make some things clearer. If you have questions, please, you've got to ask. You know, ask and you shall receive. That's how we learn, and that's how we all work together. So if you've got questions for us, write to us, and you know, this is what we're here for. That's why I'm presenting all these beautiful people in my videos lately, you know, one right after the other. I want you all to know there's a whole slew of beautiful beings that each one is a different personality, and they all do a little something different, but we're all in this together, and we're all doing the same thing together. We just do it in our own style, you know, in our own way, according to, you know, us and our gifts and what have you, you know. So if you don't resonate with me, then you for sure would resonate with Valerie. That's the whole point. No competition here. I am here, you know, except that I might make a mean veggie lasagna. Then we're talking different. So, but no, it's about, you know, sharing. I am here working alongside a lot of beautiful beings, a lot of other light workers, healers, spiritual guides, and what have you. And I want to share them with you out there, and I want you to be able to find the one that you resonate with. If it isn't me, this is what it's about. We're working together, and I want, you know, Val has so much to offer. She's got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge from the experiences she's got, and she's very connected. So she has something for you, and that's why I'm doing the video with her, because I really resonate with her too, and I love what she does. So this is the gathering of you know, of the light being, you know, the galactic family, the soul family, and it's exciting because something really exciting is happening right now. So this is why I am just, you know, boom bombarding you all.
We both said it. It's time.
Yes. So I want Valerie to say one more time, what is it that you do and how can people get a hold of you, hon?
So the best way is I've been very active on Facebook, and so I'm just under Valerie Elster, or I have a page, a private page or public page as well. I also have a website, which is just my full name, valerieelster.com. I can answer questions, and really, you know, what I do, it's the simplest, is really help people to navigate what's happening, navigate the changes within, and understand what's happening, you know, in the greater space. And I do that with a variety of tools, Akashic records, Akashic field therapy. You know, I call it 5D healing, which is honestly, I open up the space, whatever wants to come through for you. But I'm really about who you are authentically and unraveling what is in the way of that. I mean, simply put. So those are the best ways to get a hold of me. And I was going to say maybe questions on the event page, or obviously you can send me a private message, or both of us. So thank you for having me. That was awesome.
Well, thank you for joining me tonight. Yes, Valerie and I are going to do another video. I already know that. So there's more to do. This is not the end of it. So definitely thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for being my galactic sister. And I will put Valerie's information at the bottom of this video, and so you can find her. You know where to find her, and if you have any questions, just ask on the, you know, in the comment section of the video, or get a hold of us. You can find us on Facebook. And as you know, I'm Rose Ferrachi, and I do intuitive readings and personal empowerment sessions and so forth. I do a plethora of things as well, but just know that we did this for you, and we did it with all the love in our hearts. You are all so loved. You really are. You're not alone. You have to make your own choices, but you don't have to walk this journey alone. So thank you, Valerie. And
thank you, sweetie. Thanks,
thank
everybody.
you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And mwah, mahalo. Namaste.
Blessings. Bye.